Hello, I am Chief James Mazza of the Montclair Ambulance Unit. Thank you for having us tonight. I'd like to start by sharing our new mission statement. Montclair Ambulance Unit, an independent, nonprofit emergency medical service, has been the dedicated 911 ambulance service for Montclair, New Jersey since 1953. We are committed to improving community health and safety by providing professional 911 EMS, ambulance support for community events, incident management services, and public health education for everyone. As an independent 501c3 nonprofit agency, Montclair Ambulance Unit is not a department of Montclair Township or part of the fire department, and it's been that way since 1953. Our staff are not employees of the township, and MAU receives no operating capital from Montclair Township or residents' taxes. We would like to thank Montclair Township for the in-kind support it provides MAU. The township provides the use of a building, our operating insurances, and our vehicle fuel. This in-kind support saves MAU about $185,000 per year. If it was operating cash, it would represent about 8% of our annual operating budget. The township has much more purchasing power than our small nonprofit, so the cost savings is significant to us. As an independent nonprofit agency, MAU is responsible for all of the other expenses associated with running an EMS agency. Montclair Ambulance Unit is staffed by 67 paid professional career EMTs and one volunteer, our board president. They are employed by the nonprofit, not the township. The nonprofit's annual budget for 2025 is approximately $2.3 million. Approximately three-quarters of our budget, which roughly aligns with our payroll, comes from insurance billing. The other quarter comes from fundraising, including event standbys, CPR classes, grants, and donations from residents like you. The nonprofit is responsible for that payroll, which represents about three-quarters of our annual budget, and is roughly covered by insurance billing. We also have to fund ambulance purchases, maintenance, and repairs, building maintenance and repairs, medical supplies and equipment, and everything else it takes to run an emergency medical service, from the Band-Aids to the toilet paper. Every year, approximately $500,000 of our operating budget comes from fundraising. We would like to thank those loyal supporters who respond to our mailings every year. We literally couldn't do it without you. We have to raise approximately $500,000 every year just to keep the ambulances rolling out the door. Our fundraising efforts include community CPR classes, event standbys, applying for grants, and running several fundraising campaigns to generate support from you, the Montclair community. Gone are the days of us taking down your credit card number and expiration date by mail or by phone. We have implemented a robust online fundraising platform and can now take one-time or recurring donations by credit card, as well as contributions via Venmo, EFT, and even Bitcoin. We also have an easy employer matching tool that helps you check to see if your employer will match your charitable contributions. I want to talk about grants for a minute. Nonprofit ambulance services like ours are eligible to apply for 2% of a federal grant that provides things like fire trucks and medical equipment to first responders. We applied last year, but none of the grants have been awarded. In fact, the documents about last year's applications have been removed from the federal website. We were able to secure funding to purchase one of the Lucas devices, but will be unable to buy the other two. They cost about $23,000 apiece. Ask any emergency responder if they think every ambulance should be equipped with these life-saving devices, and they'll tell you yes, absolutely. When federal funding disappears, local grants become more competitive, and we become more reliant on individual donations from residents. Every single Montclair Ambulance Unit employee is a certified EMT. The leadership team we've assembled have all provided patient care and worked on ambulances themselves. Every one of them steps in when something needs to be done, from solving an operational problem to mopping the bathroom floor. The EMTs who respond when you call 911 are all highly trained, paid professionals. They staff the building at 95 Walnut Street around the clock, 365 days a year. Another crew is stationed in Cedar Grove every day. Last year, MAU crews responded to an average of 16 requests for ambulance service every single day. We know representation is extremely important. In 1953, roughly 20% of Montclair's population was black, but we can't find any people of color in the team photos from that time. When MAU was founded, women were only allowed to answer the phone. Today, about half of our EMTs are women, and the racial, ethnic, and gender diversity of our team much more accurately reflects the community we serve. An extremely data-oriented agency, our team relies on data for everything from staffing to ambulance maintenance to what kinds of specialized training we provide our staff so they can better serve our community. I'd like to share a small sample of Montclair Ambulance Unit statistics with you. In 2024, we provided 5,715 EMS responses. That is a 20% increase over 2023's call volume. In fact, we have seen approximately a 20% increase in demand for ambulance services every year since COVID. There are several reasons for this demand growth. I think the main reason is that patients with chronic medical conditions, like high blood pressure, for example, didn't go to the doctor during COVID. So, left untreated, the conditions worsened. We are also seeing increases in requests for ambulances for psychiatric issues and for patients experiencing substance use disorders. We recently marked 2 years of service to Cedar Grove Township during the day. A crew of 2 MAU EMTs is assigned to respond in Cedar Grove from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week. They handle about 15 911 calls per week. Over the past 3 years, MAU has seen a dramatic 70% average increase in mutual aid requests from other surrounding communities. While we have been able to add extra ambulance crews during our busiest times, other towns are facing staffing shortages, while, at the same time, their call volume increases just like ours. We are very proud to have responded to nearly 6,000 calls for service in 2024. The New Jersey State Department of Health recommended EMS response time is within 15 minutes. Montclair Ambulance Unit's average response time last year was just over 4 minutes. This chart here represents our average response times per ward. Note that Ward 1, the furthest from our Walnut Street station, is still under 6 minutes and is under half the maximum response time recommended by the state. This chart represents our 2024 responses by ward. The highest number of responses was in Ward 3, the busy center of Montclair. This number also reflects our responses to different events and concerts held in the downtown area. To scale our services to meet increasing demand, we are hoping to raise $300,000, in addition to the $500,000 we need to raise to operate, to remount an ambulance that suffered terminal engine failure last year. While Montclair Township has purchased several ambulances over the unit's 7 decades of service, no future ambulance purchases are planned at this time. As an independent nonprofit agency, your taxes do not purchase, maintain, or repair ambulances for us. Your donations do. By purchasing a new truck and remounting the old patient compartment on it, we can increase our vehicle fleet and bolster our ability to provide preventative maintenance and necessary repairs on the rest of our ambulances. Remember when I read you our mission statement? Public health education for everyone is an important priority for our agency, and it's also a critical fundraising source for us. Jonathan Pryor heads up our training and education division, which offers CPR, first aid, stop the bleed, babysitting, and now our popular free opioid overdose response training course. The classes take place at the MAU Training Center in the Mills Building, or we can come to you. You all received a card in the mail announcing our exciting opioid overdose response training course. Thanks to opioid settlement funds provided by the Montclair Health Department, we are able to provide this valuable training for free to everyone who lives, works, or goes to school in Montclair. The link to sign up for these courses can be found at the Montclair Ambulance Unit website at montclairems.org. Another pillar of our mission statement is incident management. We provide emergency management planning and response to large-scale incidents, whether they're unplanned events like hurricanes or blizzards, or planned events like Montclair Pride, Jazz Fest, and Walnut Street Fair. Our leadership team are all EMTs who are also highly trained in various incident management disciplines. Some of those areas of expertise are logistics, staging, urban search and rescue, and public information. Our Deputy Chief Michael Craig is one of New Jersey's only geographic information systems, or mapping, experts working in EMS. Sometimes additional ambulance support is required for events like football games, concerts, and graduation ceremonies. You can bet we wouldn't miss a graduation parade. EMS is an underrepresented profession when it comes to legislative advocacy. I could talk about this for hours, and I will spare you here. But unlike fire, police, and animal control, EMS is not designated as an essential service in New Jersey or 34 other states. This means municipalities aren't required to provide or fund ambulance services. Our access to grants is extremely limited compared to that of other first responders, and many EMS providers have to have 2 to 3 jobs just to pay their bills. We are active in several professional associations and attended EMS on the Hill Day in Washington, D.C. Our PIO recently completed a research project about EMS advocacy for FEMA's National Disaster and Emergency Management University. I didn't want to include this, but my team is making me tell you that I won the National Association of EMT's EMS Advocate of the Year award this year. While I was honored to accept it, I don't do anything alone, and there's so much more advocacy work to be done. And if not us, who? I'm always looking ahead to the future. I'm willing to bet that demand and costs continue to increase. I know we're going to need more ambulances and more space. The 1906 former firehouse we occupy was originally staffed by 4 firemen. Today, on any given weekday, we have up to a dozen men and women working in the building, and we only have 2 toilets. We know these things take time, so we are working in the background to identify our future needs and figure out how to make it work. We're going to need more ambulances. Last year, each of our 5 ambulances responded to an average of 1,100 911 EMS jobs. A mechanical issue that's minor for our personal vehicles, like an issue with the air conditioning, takes an ambulance out of service until it's repaired. In a Murphy's Law scenario, when more than one ambulance is in the shop for scheduled maintenance or repairs, that could limit our ability to respond to an emergency. We envision a future with flexible, scalable regional EMS. Instead of every town in our area running its own ambulance service, we would work together even more than we do today. A regional approach to EMS increases flexibility and improves ambulance responses in a very cost conscious way. We were fortunate to be able to help when Cedar Grove asked for our support, or when another town had 3 911 ambulance calls at the same time and needed to find a crew to take one of them. To this end, we have developed an informal coalition of EMS leaders from across the region, and we get together to discuss the challenges all EMS agencies face. We are optimistic that, when we collaborate, we will find solutions to the staffing and funding challenges that have caused many EMS agencies across New Jersey to reduce their services or close their doors altogether. Okay, it's quiz time. Montclair Ambulance Unit is either A, part of the fire department, B, a department of Montclair Township, C, an independent nonprofit staffed by volunteer EMTs, or D, an independent nonprofit staffed by paid EMTs. Take a moment and think about that. The answer is D, an independent nonprofit staffed by paid EMTs. You would be surprised to hear how many of your neighbors don't know how your EMS operates right here in Montclair. Please help us tell our story. We would love to come and give this same talk to your neighbors and friends. If you have a monthly staff meeting, we'd love to attend. We will talk to PTAs, real estate agents, professional associations, and book clubs. Just tell us where to be. Please follow us on social media and interact with our posts. It helps us to get the word out. As always, I'd like to thank Montclair Township, the Township Council, and the more than 1,000 residents who contributed to our fundraising efforts last year. We literally couldn't do it without your support. You're welcome to reach out to me directly at chief@montclairems.org.